All right, finding the percent composition of elements within a compound. You can do this either by taking experimental data, so actually going into the lab and finding the mass of each element within a compound, and then dividing the mass of the element by the mass of the compound, multiplying by 100%. This should give you the mass, or percent mass, of that element within the compound. And so one experiment that you might do is the decomposition of silver oxide. So say you were to decompose 13.60 grams of silver oxide completely, so that all of the oxygen is released, leaving just 12.66 grams of silver. You want to find the percent composition of each element within this compound, and so you need to find just the mass of each element within that compound first. So the first part is very simple. The percent silver within the compound is just the mass of silver over the mass of the compound times 100%. But how many grams of oxygen are there? Well, the mass of oxygen is not mentioned. It's not given to you. They give you the mass of the compound, they give you the mass of silver, which is a product, but you do not know the mass of oxygen product, and therefore the mass of oxygen within the original compound. But you do know that there is the law of conservation of mass, so that the mass of all the reactants is equal to the mass of all the products. And so 13.60 grams, the mass of the reactants, is equal to 12.66 grams of silver product plus an unknown mass of oxygen product. And so solving for x, you should find that there are 0.94 grams of oxygen released as product, and hence also 0.94 grams of oxygen within the original compound. And so to find the percent oxygen within the compound, you put the mass of oxygen over the entire mass of the compound, multiplied by 100%. So you get 6.91%. And your percent silver was 93.09%. Are these reasonable results? Well, you can check that they're reasonable by adding up your percents. They should add up to very close to 100%, if not 100% exactly. So you know that you've done good calculations if you're 99% to 101%. This, though, is precisely 100.00%. This was a very good experiment with a very low error. All right, another way of finding the percent composition of elements within compounds is from the formulas provided. So what you can do is presume that you have 1 mole of the entire compound. And you can then presume that there is going to be a certain mass of an element within that 1 mole of the compound. So the mass of the element within 1 mole of the compound over the mass of 1 mole of the compound times 100% should give you the percent composition of the element. Now, it's easier oftentimes to consider the number of atoms of within one of those compounds times the molar mass of that element I discussed, and then divide by the molar mass of the compound, multiply it by 100%. And so, say you were to try to find the percent composition of silver and oxygen within silver oxide, knowing now that silver oxide is actually Ag2O. Well, the percent silver is going to be that number of silver atoms within silver oxide, 2, times the molar mass of silver, and then divided by the molar mass of the compound. Now, really what you're just presuming is if you have 1 mole of this entire compound, you have 2 moles of silver. So this should give you 93.10% silver. And then for oxygen, it's 1 times 16.00 divided by 2, 31.74. You get 6.90% oxygen. How was your calculation? Well, add them up. This actually gives us precisely 100.00%. You've done a good calculation. All right, thanks for watching, guys.